Well, for today's midweek tutorial, we are going to create this neon sign. Stay tuned and see how fun and easy this project is. Alright, so I was looking through a notebook that I have from when I first started doing dollhouse miniatures, probably around 30 years ago or more. And in this notebook, I had written notes from magazines and library books and stuff of things I wanted to try. This project was one of the ones that was in there. I don't know where I had gotten it from, but I've been kind of playing with it this morning, and I decided it would make a fun Wednesday video. So what I did, we're going to make a neon sign. And I'll talk a little bit more as we get to the end about where maybe this could be used. So what I've done, I have a piece of printer paper. I drew myself 2 lines in pencil and I wrote the word open, mainly because I couldn't think of what else to put on a neon sign off the top of my head. And I made nice blocky letters. And then I topped my letters with Sharpie marker. That's important because now we need a non-stick surface. And I'm using one of these parchment squares. I get these at Dollar Tree. I love them both in the kitchen and the craft room. Now I know the masking tape isn't really holding this down securely. It's just helping me to not have it sliding all over the table. So I'm going to get myself in a position to work because I find I need to stand up. So I need to push my chair back out of the way, get myself ready, and then we'll talk about the glue gun and we'll start working. So I'll be right back. All right, so I'm using my glue gun. It has a fairly thin tip, not a super thin one. It is a regular glue gun. It's not a fine tip. And just a regular stick of clear hot glue. And I preheat my glue gun. I find it really needs to preheat for 10-15 minutes, at least this one does, and on high heat, because we are going to trace over those letters. Now, it's not going to be perfect. And I have done this 3 or 4 times already, and I find each one I do is a little better. So if you've got a really intricate design, start simple and, you know, practice. Practice makes perfect on things like this. And don't worry if your first coat of glue isn't enough, because we're going to come back in a little bit. So, if your letters, when we're done, don't touch, then we'll add a little bridge of glue kind of between the letters to make sure they touch, because that's all that's going to hold this together. And my hands are shaking. So this will be really fragile when it's done, but it can be framed, or you could probably mount it on a piece of like clear film. I'm going to mount mine, I think, on a framed piece of foam core when I get done that's black. All right, once you have all of the lines traced the first time, leave your glue gun turned on and let this cool for about 5 minutes or so, so it's completely set up. And when that's done, I'll come back and we'll look at it. We'll probably put a second coat on, so I'll be right back. All right, this is set up for a while now, and I'm going to add a little bit more glue right here and right here. And I think a little more right on this spot. And I think that's really all it needs this time. So now this needs to cool all the way down to become firm. And when it is, then I'll come back and I'll show you how to put the color in it. All right, now pull this tape up, and that releases this. Now very carefully pull it back, just in case you missed and it's not attached, and it's attached just fine. It looks okay. I'm still not as neat as I would like to be. Oh, there's a spot that should have been thicker. I need to turn the glue gun back on, let it heat up, and we'll fill in that spot. So I'll be right back. All right, so mainly it's just on that side of the O. So hopefully I can fill that in. You want the glue gun to be hot enough that it is starting to drip really well. Because if you don't, the glue is not going to come out at all smooth. All right, now is there any place else? I think that will do now. So now that needs to harden, and then when I come back, then we can start coloring this in. All right, I know this is really hard to see. It'll be easier once I get the next step done. But first, let's do some trimming, because I have this tail here. I want to cut that off. I want to cut off the little strings. Put my glasses on. I have glasses here on the craft table so I can see what I'm doing. It's actually easier to see these here. So trim it up and get it as neat as you want it to be. And if you're doing this at home where you've got more time, like when I'm doing a video, I'm limited on how much time I can fuss around with this. I mean, if I was going to be really picky and do this for a project, I would sit here probably for the next hour and mess around with it and get it just right. But for a video, I don't have time to do that with filming. And you guys wouldn't want to watch me do that either. So I'm just going to do this quickly, and then you guys can take your time and do it at home. So each letter needs to be colored now so that we'll be able to see them. And I'm going to do each letter different. And what I'm using are these Bics, whoops, that's a glue stick. These Bics markers. They're an alcohol marker like a Sharpie or a Copic marker or a Spectrum Noir or any of those alcohol ink based markers that you can find everywhere. I know a lot of times at this time of year, Walmart has great big packages of different colors of Sharpie markers, really, really, really cheap in their back to school stuff. And that's a good thing to stock up on if you're doing a lot of crafting, whether it's miniatures or other stuff. Now turn this over. We're working on that flat side that was against our parchment. And I'm actually going to do this on the paper because I want to be able to use this parchment for other things. So I'm going to take a pink one and I'm going to color in. And if there's a bridge of glue here where I made it joined, I'm not going to color that. I'm going to leave that clear. And like I said, again, if at home, you can take more time on this. Okay, I think I'll do yellow next. Got kind of a, see this color is, what is this color? This color is Fandango Pink. This one is Yellow Blaze. But these could be, I see a lot of times when people do like family rooms or the guys do a man cave or a party room or even like a bar scene or something like that, there'll be neon signs that are kind of framed and on the wall just as decoration. And these could be really cool for that. You'll see here in a minute what it looks like. And this color is Hot Aqua. And then for the N, I'm going to use Key Lime. Colors don't necessarily make sense. I just wanted to try different colors. And it's a little bit fragile yet, so you know, you will probably want to put it on, mount this onto something. But I think they look really cool. Now that's just with one coat of ink. It looks a lot like a neon sign. So I'm going to let that ink set up for a few minutes. And then I'm going to go back and put a second coat of ink on it off camera, maybe 2 or 3 more coats. And when I get it the way I want it, I will come back and show you how this looks. And I'm also going to create a little thing to put it on. So I'll be back in a bit. All right, here is our sign that we made. It's all dried and ready to be glued onto whatever surface it's going to be displayed on. I thought I'd show you the 2 that I made practicing before I started the video. This was the first one, and it was kind of wobbly and all over the place. And this was the second one I did, and I got the E too big and the P not big enough, but you can really see an improvement, and I really love how this looks, and I think there's possibilities for making some really cool designs with this. It's just going to take a lot of practice on getting that glue gun to feed out glue evenly and the way we want it to, but I love it. I even like the bubbles in this one. It looks really cool. So I made a little frame. Ignore the little pink. I had an unsuccessful experience trying to glue this down, and I'll talk about that on the blog post. But so be sure and hop over there. But let's glue this down. I'm going to use just tacky glue. I've already put the glue gun away, and the glue gun I think would make it too bulky to glue it onto the paper anyway. Don't use super glue, and I will, like I said, that was what I tried first, and that was a disaster, and I will talk about it over on the blog post. I did not get pictures of the disaster because I was too busy trying to rescue this, but let's just say I almost ruined it by putting a drop of super glue on the back of it. A couple of drops. So go ahead, hopefully I can hit the center of this and cover up my little marks. Oh yeah, that's fine. So that just needs to dry. But just for coming up with this off, you know, just from some notes I had taken, I am super happy with this. And I know people collect neon type signs and put them in their family rooms and stuff, or they could be in, it could be in like a business type room box. You could do a lot of things with this. You could do some really cool designs. And if you do some, show me. Either send me photos or post them over on the Facebook page. I want to see what you guys are doing with my tutorials. But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed today's video. Be sure and hop over to the blog post. There'll be more information over there and photos. Be sure and hit the like button if you liked today's video, and leave me a comment. What kinds of projects would you like to see in future videos? If you enjoy my content and haven't subscribed, I encourage you, hit that subscription button and the notification bell, so you know when I put up a new video. Thank you very much for watching today, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.